All right, welcome back. I am Jay, the owner and creator of Asante Property Group, and the last session that I want to talk to you about today is other people's money, raising finance. An incredibly powerful strategy in the real estate market, in the real estate industry, and in an acquisition altogether. I mean, if you buy businesses, you're also gonna use most likely gonna use this strategy, and you're gonna use ways to leverage other people's money. Other people's money slash raising finance slash OPM, other people's money, is an incredibly powerful strategy because ultimately that means you can buy property without putting any of your own money down. And the reason why this is such an important strategy to know and learn and really build on is because even if you're a millionaire, even if you have all the, like a lot of resources yourself, even if you're Jeff Bezos, there's only so much you can do with your own money. I mean, maybe not if you're Jeff Bezos, but if even if you're already well off and you're in a good position financially, you still need to learn how to leverage other people's money, because if you do not, there's always gonna be just a cap on what you can do. If you only have $1 million in the bank, you can only invest $1 million. But if you use other people's money, there is literally no cap to the amount of real estate you can be investing into. The number one important thing that you will need to do, though, before you take other people's money on board, is that you're investing in profitable deals. So now, earlier, before we spoke about the BRRR method, we spoke about rent to rents, we spoke about purchase lease options. Regardless of whatever strategy you're using for a specific property and you're using other people's money for it, you need to be really, I cannot emphasize enough, really certain about your numbers. You need to be rock solid that your numbers are going to be strong and that you ran through your numbers conservatively, like not like optimistically, like yeah, this is going to work out. No, conservatively. Like, though, even in the worst case scenario, I'm still going to get X out of this deal. So with X, I'm going to be able to pay back my investors. This is really important. Now, how do you go about raising other people's money? Well, number one, you have a good deal. If you have a good deal that stacks on paper and it makes sense and you verified all the numbers, then you're in a strong position to then utilize other people's money. If you do not have that first thing to start with, then it's going to be very hard for you to get other people's money, because what do you have to offer? You can't just say, oh, give me 100K and tomorrow I'm going to give you back 110K. Well, how are you going to do that? Now, you need to show people, like, be transparent with them. This is what I'm planning to do. I have this beautiful BRR property here. I'm going to buy this for 100K. I'm going to do a refurb for 150K, and I'm going to refinance at 200K. I'm going to pull the entire 150K out again. Or if it's a flip, so we spoke about BRRR properties earlier, the same thing in a flip. It's the exact same strategy. The only difference is, instead of refinancing it, you are selling it, the property at the end. So say you buy it for 100K, you do the refurb for 50K, and then you sell it for 200K, then you have a 50K profit. If you bought this with other people's money, the going rate usually in the real estate industry is usually like 8-10% per loaning other people's money. So you pay them a guaranteed interest of 8 to 10%. So at 150K borrowed from an investor, that would be 15K at 10%. So altogether, you make a profit of 35K on this deal if you're selling it. But it's still going to be worth it, because look, you leveraged other people's money. You only had to put, I mean, if you're selling it, you have to put nothing into the deal. And if you're not selling it, if you're refinancing it at 75% loan to value, which is the going rate for refinancing for a rental property, then you will only put 15K of your own capital into a 150K deal. Who would like that? So great. Why would investors give you their money? Again, you're looking at this from the point of view of, I wouldn't give people my money to invest into property. Well, what if you're a really busy professional who loves what they do, and you have money sitting in the bank and you're not using it? You're not doing anything with it because you're too busy. You're focusing on building your career in whatever, You might be building your banker's career, or you might be doing arts or architecture. I don't know what people do, but it's really, really important to understand that you are bringing value to them and not the other way around. You are not taking value from them. They take value from you. and this is what you're presenting, this is what you're offering. So when you run through your slides and you run, them through the deal, they need to see how much value they're getting. And once they see that, they will then be happily investing with you. Okay? So I hope this was helpful. I hope this kind of broke down the idea of leveraging other people's money. Let me go into just a little bit more detail about flips in the next video. But ultimately, at this stage, go out there, present your deals to people, and ask them, like, would this be something you might be interested in investing in? And ask them, like, look, I carry all the risk. Regardless of whether this deal is performing or not, you will get your return that I promised you. And if, for whatever reason, it's not performing the way I expect it to be, I will take the hit. Make that agreement with people. Write it down. Make a signed, like, legally binding agreement with them. If it makes them feel better, have both of you be represented by solicitors. Have the agreements drawn up by solicitors, especially if it's larger sums of money. I really recommend you do that, whether you know the person or not. Have that done. And then have them being also consulted in the agreement. If it's just small amounts of money and it's somebody that, from your friends and family, then usually just a small agreement is okay. But ultimately speaking, you're handling other people's money here. So there's certain securities as well that you might want to put in place here, okay? So go out there, speak to people about what you do, that you're a property investor, about the deals you're doing. And you might be surprised who's actually then going to approach you about potentially doing business with you. Like, I had people literally approach me from I've never expected or known that they were interested in investing, but they just got caught wind of what I was doing, and they kind of were like, oh, this is really cool what you're doing, how can we get involved? And then I spoke to them, and they said, well, I don't really feel like doing this whole thing that you're doing, buying property, doing it up, and then tenanting, and then dealing with tenants. Oh gosh, nothing worse than that. No, they just wanted to have their money grow, and for them it's going to be awesome, because inflation, their money in the bank is eroding every single year by like at least 2%. And so for you to have that money parked with you instead, who can return like 10%, they're beating inflation by like a lot. And they earn some interest on top of that. If they park 200K with you and they earn 10% of that, that's almost the average living wage in the UK, that they just earn passively from the work that you do. So to some people, it's an absolute no-brainer. Then it's just a matter of trust. Do they trust you or not? To other people, you might just need to basically make them understand the value that is in it for them. And you do that by showing them the deal, being completely transparent with what you're intending to do, and being open and honest. And that's it. Okay? All right. I hope this was enjoyable to you, and I hope that was really helpful. Just speaking basically about my own experience of raising and leveraging other people's money as well. And if you enjoyed this video, click in the link below, and I hope you enjoyed this little series on property strategies.